So as youth begin to see themselves as part of the story, right? Not the thing, not the response to the thing that is youth ministry, but really part of the story and a God story that is unfolding. As they discover more of what that means to themselves, that can open up a whole host of feelings and emotions about what they're experiencing and in what is a pretty fast-paced culture for them. So what role does mental health play in the conversation you're engaging in about priorities and identity formation? And what would you say to youth who are anxious about some of these questions and things that are coming up for them?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of are in an age of anxiety, and we may be in an age of anxiety because we are in an age where depression is so close by too. And that's one of the thoughts that some of these thinkers have been thinking about is if really one of our big mental health issues that we face at the end of modernity, where we're in the age of authenticity and we have to work on being our own unique identity. And that's quite a fast-paced thing that only you are responsible to.
Right.
What at least one French thinker thinks maybe one way of thinking of kind of large-scale depression is that it just becomes the exhaustion of keeping on curating your own identity. That you just can't keep curating this. So it's very possible that this comes up, but maybe I'm deeply naive, but I think one of the reasons that happens, that both the anxiety level as well as the depression level, because I think those things play off each other, is that you feel like you are responsible for your own story or your own future, that you are somewhat encapsulated in this narrative because you have to win. Where I think once you start to tell these stories, it starts to free you in many ways. And I do think that, like, to have an adult or someone else say, I've always been a really anxious person and this happened, and in the midst of my anxiety, God meets me in this way, or I went through a real bout of depression and was not even sure God existed, and I didn't know if I wanted to exist. Hearing that narrative becomes a moment of invitation of confession, but it also becomes an invitation to seek for the living God to heal. And so those things are going to come to the surface, but I don't think youth workers should be scared of those things coming to the surface. I think you should be quite scared of those things coming to the surface when it then just means you need more technical skills to solve those problems. And there will be reasons to be very wise in when you refer and using the available technical referral systems that we need we can't solve these problems on our own. But the anxiety as well as depression often has, I don't know, maybe a part of its core in that you feel alone, and that you feel alone. And not feeling alone is an incredible movement towards healing. And I want to say it is because at the core of, I think, who God is God is one who ministers. And when you find you're not alone, you find that you actually have another who's ministering to you, and that starts to be a dynamic healing process. And so I don't think we should fear it, though it is real that these things will come about. So know your protocols of when you refer and how you communicate with parents. But I think the start to healing is to recognize that someone else has similar feelings or has been through a journey and made it to the other side, or is finding ways to make it through the other side.
Yeah, that's powerful.